Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
I was thinking today, like, why mech games so hit and not even hit and miss, they're just miss. Why are mech games miss all the time? Like after Mecha Break, I thought Mecha Break would be huge, and I know that one kind of shot itself in the foot, but same thing with like Gundam and super fighting robots or whatever. Like Titanfall 2 was good, but and Armored Core, like none of them are really bad, but people just don't care about mechs.
It's just not a big genre. It's never been a big genre.
But that's what's weird. Like, isn't piloting a giant robot something everybody would love to do?
Until they actually have to control said giant robot, because usually the controls are, especially older games, are some esoteric nonsense where you have to hold the controller backwards is the best way to play them. Like, have you seen the pictures of the Armored Core grip?
No.
There's like the best, if you probably could search Armored Core grip and it will show you, but people literally just hold the controller backwards.
Yeah, it's straight up backwards.
because like, especially because mech games are huge, like PS2 era, like that generation. But no one had figured out like dual stick control schemes yet.
Yeah.
So
your ring finger is on the reticle or whatever it is. It's a PlayStation 1, so it may not be that on that game, but you're definitely controlling the thumbsticks with your ring finger. What is going on here?
Oh, it's the legendary the AC grip. You literally held the controller backwards because of the way the controls were laid out. It made more sense.
We've come a long way, haven't we?
I hope so.
No, because I played the last Armored Core and that felt pretty good. I never finished it, but
yeah, no, six has definitely been modernized, and it has a control scheme that actually like physically makes sense.
And like Mecha Break felt really good to play. It just was bogged down by its own everything. I don't know if that game's gonna last very long.
Yeah, no, because you basically
sad.
Because also you break mecha and like mech games into two genres, which like divides an already smaller player base or like people interested into basically this like mechs like as like these slow hulking behemoths. Like the Mech Warrior series is the one that always comes to mind because it's probably the most popular of the type I'm talking about. And then Mecha, where they're decisive super weapons basically that are just so they're fighter jets, except even more absurd.
So Mecha Break is Mecha, and that one terrible Gundam game we played is
Chunk Mech. Chunk Mech.
Oh my god, that might have been one of the worst games I've ever played. That was the clunkiest. What game was that? I can't remember the name.
Gundam Battle Operations 2, right? What was the Gundam Battle?
Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
and it was a gacha game too.
Yeah, because I loved how that controlled, but holy shit, in terms of like, this is how a giant robot might feel. No, it doesn't quite make sense for a Gundam game, but
you realize, well, maybe we are better off with planes and bombs. This isn't really cutting it. We're not quite at the what's that Mech versus Monsters movie we like?
Pacific Rim?
Something? Pacific Rim. Like Pacific Rim 1 versus Pacific Rim 2, where in the first one they're just hulking like sluggers, and the second one they're doing flips and shit.
What sequel? What are you talking about? There wasn't a sequel.
You're right. My bad.
We don't talk about that. It's forbidden knowledge.
Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, shout outs to the first movie having an oil tanker be swung around as a weapon, which is not really possible.
Sure it is. It's the future, maybe.
Yeah.
They might connect better.
Do you know how big a mech would have to be to swing around an oil tanker?
Yeah, as big as the one from Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
what
do you mean?
Dude, that is the world's tiniest oil tanker by large, by far.
Yeah, that's why it connected so well. You can't break it. It's compact.
You also
set up to do that.
You also have to do the thing of, we forgot we had a sword for 80% of the movie.
let's keep destroying all this property, and instead of using our sword that we brought with us, literally, like, I think these will be cooler nunchucks than the sword I brought.
Meanwhile, like, Also, like at this point, you are literally the only mech that's operational at this point in the movie, right? Everyone else is either
Yep.
dead or disabled.
Yep.
And he's still aura farming. Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, it's so good.
They should make 1,000,000 sequels, just like we should make 1,000,000 sequels to the Giant Enemy Crab podcast. Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. I'm Fliz. We have ourselves KylarEmiya
Hello.
and Strider1.
Greetings.
And we're here to talk about, I guess, whatever we want, plus some news maybe, if we get to it. How's you guys' day been?
Very busy. I was very busy today.
Yeah, it's been that kind of week.
Yeah.
I basically got sent home from work early today.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a good day.
Yep.
I mean, unless you need money.
Yeah, because I
Well-
just told them about what had happened.
Oh,
And so
they're like, take a day.
yeah, they're like, do you need another day? And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. I've been struggling with depression myself.
Every day. But that's why we got video games, dude.
You didn't take the bait. I was gonna say depressing these nuts.
What? This is a professional
You didn't take the
podcast. We
bait.
can't say
I'm
that.
sorry.
My balls in your throat. Woo!
I tried real hard. I thought about that today. I was like, wait, I can do that. And then you just let me down.
That's right.
Oh,
Wait, have you been planning that all day?
kind of. I'm
Run it back. I'll do it for you. I'll fall for it.
No, the moment is gone. I was like, I haven't heard that one yet. That's got to be new. I was expecting one of y'all to be like, oh, what's got you depressed? And then I could do the thing, and then everybody would laugh, and I'd get a crown, maybe some property.
No.
Maybe some property. What?
You have the Burger King
From
crown.
A
You can have one of
landed
those.
lord.
Yeah, I can't be a lord with the crown without some land.
My
Come on,
neighbor's gonna
that's
learn
just
today.
stupid. I'm gonna encroach on my neighbor's property. I'm gonna plant a flag in their bathroom and do something.
The next time you go to work, all of your customers are just gonna have a flag planted by the pools.
Yeah, I own this now. I'm coming on the weekends.
I'm gonna use all of their pools in one day. Could you? I'm now just imagining them watching you like hop in, swim for like 30 seconds, get out, sprint to your car, and go on to the next one.
One of my people told me that like the reason they fired their last pool guy is because they caught him naked swimming in their pool. I'm like, that takes some serious balls to be in a stranger's pool naked when they get home. Like, it's not even like that. You're not even drunk. Like it's noon.
A conscious decision. Yeah, hopefully he wasn't drunk.
Yeah, he might have been. Who knows? I don't know. Not my chair, not my problem. Although it does set the bar real low, which is nice. You know?
Anyone's gonna look better by comparison. Eh? You're just gonna blow their
I'm
expectation
shining.
out of the water.
Yep. They give me a crown and some land.
They don't know that though.
We'll get into the news maybe a little bit later, but I figured we could talk about everybody's been kind of addicted. If we have I didn't really have time, but everybody's been playing when did it come out? 2015?
2012. I think
2012.
I want to say, right? Because I think it's August
Somewhere
something.
around there.
Yep, August 28th,
It's
2012.
old.
We actually just passed the 13th year anniversary.
Oh, I was thinking 15 when we first talked about it earlier. Anyway, the point is everybody's been playing some Guild Wars 2, which if you don't know is a free to start MMO that is very, very, very much like WoW. I kind of wanted to compare it to Final Fantasy, just like for my own observations, but it is so much closer to WoW in every respect that I just can't. I think they were going to play it a while back and it just kept getting wires crossed or something. Nobody could figure out where to start. What happened?
Oh, so Soon invited me to play Guild Wars 2, which I did. I downloaded the game. I started playing it. And I think I got like a good 7 or 8 hours in, and he never played the game ever.
Not
And
even started it
he
up.
never even started the game, as far as I know.
Beautiful.
So yeah, and then that's just where that went. And I just stopped playing just because he wasn't playing it, and the whole point is we were supposed to play it. Yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah, and I think we were kind of looking for a game. Not all of us play League, so we play that still. Everybody, I think we've all stopped playing Marvel Rivals like as a group.
Yeah,
I don't even know anybody who's playing it anymore.
well, I remember I stopped playing it because I got mad when it crashed my PC, like really badly too. I couldn't even restart it. I had to like hold the power button to turn my PC off. It was bad.
It did that to me when my specs weren't high enough. Same thing.
Yep.
But I think even before that, people kind of were falling off it. It just, the fun factor kind of went away. So we were looking for a multiplayer game for everybody, and we settled on a game that you can play while watching YouTube. Which isn't a bad thing, honestly. Like I kind of like having a game like that in my life. And I think Guild Wars 2 not having a subscription monthly is really strong for me. Like that sets it so high up for me.
Yeah.
I give it big positives for that. But aside from that, what do you guys think? I guess we can all just what how do you feel as newcomers coming into this 10-year-old game? What's there that you thought was there? What's there that, what isn't there that you expected? Like, how you feeling so far?
What do you think, Jacob?
All right, I'll go first. So it's my second MMO that I've ever like put like big MMO in terms of like WoW, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars, EverQuest. Like
what about Ark? We played. Ark sucked. I'm sorry,
dude. Ark,
not Ark. What was that game called?
Yeah, Lost Ark.
Was it Ark?
Lost Ark.
Lost Ark. There you go.
Yeah, no, that game sucked because my first character was bricked and the support just told me to get.
Oh, is that what happened
with my first character? Yeah, no, because the Lancer I ended up playing until like I got to the end game, immediately realized what the gameplay loop was going to be and went that and stopped. But no, my first character just their story bugged. I messaged support and they just basically told me get.
Nice. What gentleman? I think I just remember we kind of got to later on in the game, and there was a point where we were fighting bugs, and I was like, "Is this gonna be the whole game?" And we looked up some reviews and whatnot, some gameplay guides, and yeah, that it was what we were doing was the end game. There's some more at the end, but nothing that required me to want to spend another 30 hours playing. So we moved on, but you seem to be liking this one a lot more. Just based on your playtime.
That's what it's been something to keep my mind off of stuff. So I've definitely been absorbed. Like, and also you guys said that you needed a fifth person. So I was like, I'll pick it up.
Oh no, that's good. I mean, I want to play more, but I just haven't had the time. So it's good. I'm glad to have a game that we can all play. I was excited to see you pop in there.
Yep. You guys had mentioned it enough times. I saw that the sale was ending like the next day, and I was like, we don't have anything to play together because the big game that you guys play right now, League, I don't play. So I figured
love League.
Don't listen to him. He's lying. He plays it all the time.
Grandmaster Yellow on his secret other PC.
Yeah. My secret other PC. Yeah, the one.
Yeah, the one.
Fucking. It's definitely got better specs than this old piece of shit.
You're playing League on GeForce now.
Is it on GeForce now? Hold on.
It used to be. They actually had to take it off there because of Vanguard.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep, that checks out. Anyway, Guild Wars.
It's definitely been interesting because it definitely feels more like a traditional MMO, or at least from what I understand it is a traditional MMO than Final Fantasy is. And also for reference that I've been playing it for less than a week, so very new still. I have like just randomly running into things that happening has been really cool because I keep being right where world bosses are spawning. So that's been neat. So I keep just happening upon like cool events. And my indicator that it's about to start is my frame rate tanks because there's now 300 people in the area.
That's kind of cool. You get strange portaled into a world boss.
Like it's just suddenly there's hundreds of people in the area. And I'm like, cool, what's happening? And then everything starts exploding.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened
I
like
think you can turn down your whatchamacallits.
the player mod. It's
your in-game actions.
You can. I had to turn
the
off
effects. Sorry.
the first world boss I did with all their players effects on was a nightmare. I couldn't see a goddamn thing.
That was like when we found out Soon was playing Final Fantasy still with max effects. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? There's so much happening at once. Your screen must just be like a rave all the time.
That's what Guild Wars 2 was. That world boss, it beat the shit out of me because I couldn't see what it was doing at all. I had every color known to man exploding in my face 24/7.
I'm resisting the joke. Continue.
Let it rip. Let it rip.
No, we're good. We're moving on.
That's been one thing. Another thing I enjoyed because the Final Fantasy didn't let you do it is that if you want to, I have not been paying attention to the story. Just personal thing. But there's stuff that's locked behind later expansions. But the game just lets you jump back and forth if you want to just jump around story-wise to get places.
Okay. I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, because when you hit level 80, your elite specializations unlock. But it turns out there's a much faster way to complete them is to get the hero points in the expansions, which I went ahead and hunted down. And I think the third expansion turned out to be the easiest, but it's just but you have to do the first story mission to get to the area. So I went ahead.
Just real quick, sorry. Is there like do story points or hero points? Is there a cap to that, or do you have to go around everywhere getting them all?
There's so the way it works is that you get enough to max out all of your core stuff from leveling up. But all of your elite specializations, you have to go find points for. The thing is, in the DLCs, the expansions, there's like 1,200 points. There's 1,200 points total. You need 750 of them to master all 3 elite specializations. But the thing in the DLC is that each point is worth 10 instead of 1.
Oh, that's the way to go.
That's why I went to the expansions. I went down. It took me like 2 hours of running around to go finish off my first elite specialization. And
good to know. I'm ignoring hero points now.
Yep. You don't need to touch any of the ones in the base game. It just seems like the expansions are much faster way of getting them. There's even, like, from what I understand, like hero point trains that run basically to get alts leveled up by running through the first expansion. Basically, an entire group just heads from one point to the next and does all of them.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
But yeah, no, because another thing from what I understand about Guild Wars 2 is that basically everything is important in some way, or at least there's reasons to do everything. So you still have players doing like as I said, the base game world bosses are still done constantly because you either need materials or some other stuff from them. So, and with basically they incentivize you basically being able to do anything and get progress, but also having a reason to do everything, which is nice. One thing I want to point out though that's really cool. I don't know if cool's the correct word, but just how much your character creation matters for the personal story. Because there are, I think, like over 300 story missions in the base game. But you only play through about 50 of them, just based on your choices, plus character creation.
Okay.
Because like I think the breakdown is if you wanted to play everything in the base game story, you need 30 characters.
You think the story's worth that?
I haven't been paying attention. It's just there's just so much content that they made that they don't expect you to do.
Yeah, I mean, it is 10 years old, or 12, 13, 12.
No,
it's
this is
somewhere
only
around
for the
there.
base story. So this is like what was there originally, from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
So there's
Okay.
like a lot that it could have been revamped over the years. I'm not certain, but it's just there's so much like extra content or like that they don't like force you to do, which is
Yeah.
unlike Final Fantasy in some ways, which sometimes the moment to moment gameplay of the story in Final Fantasy wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially because I was actually watching a video of one of the voice actors for when the player voices talk about it. I was actually Matt Mercer because he voices one of the races, and he was talking about how it can be sort of a technical challenge to voice these characters because it depends on the because it branches out so much. You really have to watch the voices and understand the context of like where you're at in that part of the story and which branch you're in to even begin like voicing them in general. And I never actually knew like how many missions and branches there were, which is that's kind of an insane amount. You said 350.
There's 308 missions. You play through, I think,
308.
49 through the
Yeah,
story.
that's like insane.
Yeah, because you need there's 15 starts basically in terms of because there's which race you start as, and then which of the three choices you choose for each thing it asks you in the beginning, and there's even a partway through that there's a choice that you have to do one mission or another. That's why you need 30 characters because there's just so much like that they kind of incentivize like having more than one character in that way. Just if you
want to experience like more aspects or different sides of the story. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And the other thing I noticed is because, as I said, where I went ahead and jumped around in later story parts of the story, is just the presentation and the way it's structured is much better. Just from a purely because I don't know the story because I wasn't paying attention, but just the way it was presented seemed a lot smoother. Also, your character actually gets voice acting, like significant voice acting in the later expansions.
I didn't even know. I didn't know my character had voice acting at all.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't think the base game you say a single thing. All of a sudden, my character was speaking.
Really? Okay.
You do. Like, unless you're talking about like voice acting outside of the
outside of the cutscenes, like while you're walking around, your character has like voice, like it's much more dynamic.
Yeah,
where it's not just the fade out, load up cutscene angle, talk for a bit, and then fades out. Next thing starts.
I gotcha.
It's a lot. Also, the actual missions, like the starting mission for the expansion I did to go get my hero points, just was a way more interesting mission than anything I did in the base game. Like you had a special action, much grander set piece. So it definitely seems like it improves over time.
It seems to be a trend with MMOs. The base game's the toughest part to get through, usually pretty bland.
Yeah, no, because the other thing is that like when I went there is that there's like challenge achievements basically that it started bringing up. It was like, make sure you kill every single enemy here. Without missing one, or make sure you don't get hit by the effects that are happening, or traverse this place basically efficiently enough, because there's a special action that allows you to leap around basically huge distances, and it wants you to make sure you can get through the entire thing in less than 10 uses of it, for example. Those are definitely the big positives. I do have some negatives I want to talk about. I'll try to keep them in spoiler light. But one thing I'm really not enjoying is just how many things just drop you to the floor. especially later.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like even where I'm at, I'm like, am I supposed to be dodging everything? Because I just get knocked around sometimes like a ragdoll, and often I don't even know where it's coming from until it's too late.
Because the thing is that some enemies, especially I noticed it later, is they have knockdown abilities, but they're not telegraphed like the earlier ones are. They're going to hit you with it. Or there's like 7 enemies and someone smacks you with a stun.
Yeah.
And then you get stunned again because another enemy has a stun and they do it. Because I know
That's my issue is like I don't mind them because they are telegraphed. They you can see them doing the specific moves and what causes it.
There are specific ones that aren't. Like that I would say you would need an inhuman reaction time to react to all of them.
I've never thought of like frame data in an MMO.
At least that's my experience with it, is because like there are definitely enemies where I'm watching them and then all of a sudden they stun me. And like their swing was like a fourth of a second.
Well, that might come down to just game knowledge. You know, more experienced people might not even view it as an issue. We're still new though.
The ones that started to drive me insane is the spiders. If you let too many of them group up, they will actually just not let you play. Because they'll grab you from a distance, right, to pull you close, and it staggers you for a second. The problem is if there's too many of them, you can't break out of the stagger without a break stun ability. And if that's on cooldown, you just get chain looped until you die. Because I had it happen twice in the same story mission. Because I'd accidentally bunched up too many spiders, and they chain stunned me for 6 seconds, and I died. But that 100% was my own fault for bunching them up, but it feels terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I don't mind it. The problem I have is if there should be some reprieve from like the basic enemies being able to do that. Because the one enemy I can think of is during the final mission. I think it's the final mission of the base game. There's this gorilla that has a stun.
Yep.
That literally lasts for 5 seconds if he hits you with it. So you're
so
on
long.
the ground for 5 seconds, right? But there's no reprieve where you're stun immune either during that time or a little bit after. So if another one hits you, get another 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of those enemies. And I only have enough endurance for like a little over 2 dodge rolls. Like I'm gonna get hit by one of them. And it just led to me getting chain stunned over and over and over again.
Yeah, because the problem,
even when I dodged them properly.
Because the problem is that there are specific utility skills that specifically have the effect of breaking stun. The problem is that like if you don't have that up or equipped, you are just going to get staggered and sometimes stun locked. And the other thing is that when they say break stun is they don't give you immunity. So if you time it wrong, you'll break the previous stun and just get hit by the next one and fall over anyway.
Oh, woof.
It's not really as much of an issue like when you have small fights. It's the ones where there's like a bunch of things happening simultaneously and some random enemy stuns you because you're trying to keep track of like 8 things happen, like 8 different enemies and what they're doing. And it's just like the ones that really get me are the risen brutes that are the small ones. The race name is escaping me because I never see them till I get hit with the stun. Because they're like,
it's like the
what are you saying?
I so like those little stone goblins in Elden Ring, the little tiny guys that hide around corners. Those guys.
Yeah, because because the risen brutes are basically just one of the playable races, like just randomly. But the ones that are really small are hard to see, like in a group fight, and they always kneecap me.
Man, it sounds like you guys are having a much more dynamic time than I am. I just stand there, the bear runs out, and they attack the bear, and then I shoot them.
Yeah, as you play the game, like the amount of like things you have to do increase. Like you can't just stand there and just like hit things and they die and fall over. Like you actually have to move around and be dodging attacks or you're just gonna die.
I mean, yeah, I do that, but it's I'm not in there. You know,
No,
the
like
bear
it's
is.
it's definitely more difficult as the game goes on. It gets
I would
harder.
assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have to, because I remember you guys were. I think this is the one you guys were telling me was one of the better PvP MMOs, which is what I really wanted. Because look, this game has really shown me, like, I really like Final Fantasy XIV. Like, it's so clean compared to this game. Not to say this is bad, but like, God, Final Fantasy looks great. you know. Um, and then
Does
there's,
he?
maybe not.
Or would you just say this game's uglier?
This game's uglier. I think Final Fantasy, the cutscenes, the like being in, like, I'm just thinking of being like Limsa and just seeing everybody around doing stuff, and it's just, I think Final Fantasy is like a pretty game. But it did, like this one, there's some things that, like, the main thing that I brought up the other day is like and it's funny because I'm Googling this a little, or I was, and it was showing like some problems with the game. And one of them is lack of guidance. And that makes sense because I was like, unlike every other MMO I've played, WoW, Lost Ark, Final, the list, this one kind of just says, okay, here's your character and go. And it doesn't really explain much else to you. After you learn to dodge something, it doesn't tell you when to dodge, what the point is. Like, it just kind of, and I'm not saying that that's a totally bad thing. Like, it's nice to kind of just have the game respect your intelligence for once and not have you held your hand through every single encounter for hours. But also, it just felt kind of weird because I still don't know how to craft things. I don't know how to do, like, I only recently found out about a whole combat mechanic I didn't even know existed.
The combo effects that it are super important, and it just doesn't ever tell you them, except in the like, quote unquote, like new adventurer's guide thing. It's like, yeah, no, because it tells you to do them, doesn't explain exactly how they work. I had to look that up.
The other part about that is, like, in your UI, the abilities are grayed out, like they're colored gray. So I assumed that later on it would explain it to me. I'd level up and I'd be allowed to do it. No, that's just the color they are. It's not locked behind progression or anything. You just have to know how to do it. And you for thinking it'd be more brightly colored.
It's just the set. I didn't have a problem because I just assumed that it was just this text is gray. But I could definitely see why you could think that this is grayed out.
Yeah, gray text in an MMO means it's garbage or you can't do it yet. It's common loot or it's not available. Not, this is very important information.
Oh,
how you feeling about it so far, Lionel? Just generally.
I really like it. It's pretty fun. I think what I enjoy about it is being able to just kind of run around and just do the various things. Because one thing I learned eventually as I was playing is there's actually like events that happen in areas that you can follow. There's like like area storylines, and you can kind of see them if you're walking around, where you can see like so and so is preparing an attack on fort, such and such. Talk to this person at this place to initiate it or something. And you can go there and you'll start like this raid on like a orc camp, and you'll go there and you'll take over the area, and you can change who actually spawns there too. And it was very interesting having like this, the idea that like the world actually like changes and you can kind of contribute to that at the same time. And there were other people there too that were like kind of helping me, only like 2 or 3 other people. But that was kind of my first like glimpse at how the game kind of functions and works. Because also the waypoints that you have can actually be contested where you can't teleport to them anymore based on that mechanic, because enemies control that area currently.
it's because usually these event chains, the meta event chains that he's talking about, are usually the ones that the server has to do to spawn the world boss. Is usually their requirement for, like, they'll start like up to half an hour beforehand. Because the first one I ran into was when I was running around the starting area is before you can do like the human starting area, that world boss, before you do it is rifts start opening up all over the place, and basically these just groups of enemies like just spawn out of the rift, and you have to fight and close them up in different areas in time before the world boss timer runs out, and then you have to go and fight the world boss.
There are even some that aren't that. Like there was one that I ran into where there's like this camp that gets attacked by these separatists, I think they were, and you help defend the camp and whatever, and then that's it. Like the thing's over. And I was really standing there afterwards, just kind of clearing out my inventory, and there are two like NPCs talking to like their commander, them complaining like, hey, we should like go out and fight these guys. We shouldn't just be sitting here and let them like attack us like this. And the commander's like, you guys are just old and you don't know what you're doing. Shut up, I'm in command. And this just like walks away. And the two are talking to each other, and they're like, man, I really miss the old days when we could just like go out and like fight in these cool wars and kill people by the thousands. They're like, we should go do that again. Let's go deal with these separatists. They're like, yeah. And the two just go out, and you can follow them, and they just go and fight like the enemy separatist camp, and you can help them.
Oh, that's cool.
And it doesn't lead to like as far as I know, at least, unless there's more is missed. Like there's no world boss or anything. You just go over there, just kill a bunch of separatists. Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. That's one thing that this game seems to have over Final Fantasy, where like you can go everywhere and do stuff. It's not just here's a fate that you don't care about unless you're farming a very specific item. Because I'm just thinking back to how much of Final Fantasy was just running from one thing to the next and ignoring everything in between as hard as I could.
Yeah, you're much more incentivized to engage with the actual like open world areas.
Well, yeah. I remember when we were doing God, what's the latest expansion for FF14 called? I forgot. Dawn Trail. Remember I was looking at this one area we were walking through. I was like, man, this area looks amazing. Too bad there's nothing to do in it.
Nothing.
And we just walk through the whole thing, just completely ignore all of it. And the other thing that I really like in Guild Wars 2 is like the actual, at least so far, this is just the base game talking about, how the story quests are just in general. I like way more, where when you go to it, there's an actual like sequence and like a mission that's all instanced and structured, and you just do it, and not the thing that Final Fantasy XIV we are infamous for knowing. Just like walk here and wait for 5 seconds. Okay, wait another
You're
5
PTSD.
seconds.
Shut up.
If I am done with Guild Wars 2, the exact second I have to triple wait, like Alt F4, computer's going straight into the sun. Like
I couldn't believe that. That had to be a joke. Somebody was playing a joke.
That's not the first time it's done it either. It happens in a previous expansion. They've done it 3 times, I think. 2 or 3 times where you've had to wait in the same spot 3 times, with each timer being longer.
That's crazy work to like put that in the game and be like, this is good. Like this is that heat. They really want to click this area once every 3 minutes.
and meanwhile, like the mission I'm doing in Guild Wars 2, you know, I'm like at this castle, like climbing the walls and driving out the undead and firing trebuchets. Granted, the mechanics for actually firing the trebuchet aren't, you know, they're not good. But like it's an actual sequence thing of events that is just like, you know, from start to finish, I am engaged in it the whole time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem. Like I said, I haven't really paid attention to the story. Is there like an overarching long ass story with a million different characters, or is it just like here's an hour of a little storyline and then here's another hour of a storyline? Maybe there's some stuff in between, but I don't have to know every single Lalafell and where they came from to know what's going on if that's what I wanted to do.
It's definitely a connected story, at least just from my perspective outside it. Like it still seems super important, especially when I jumped ahead to get to those expansion areas.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the people you're talking to are pretty important. Also, you yourself, which is interesting is you are at the end of the base game like a hero throughout Tyria. Like you are the commander that led the charge against an elder dragon and defeated them. So
To
be
can't wait
fair-
till somebody tells you to go get groceries, Elder Dragon Slaying King.
I haven't met that quest yet. A lot of the quests have been like fighting everything, and I think the most mundane quest I had was one of your allies dies in battle. Like he sacrifices himself to let off an explosion, so you have to go let their spouse know that he died. And when you do that, she basically accuses you of being the cause of their death and that she hates you, and she runs off, and you have to like go save her because she ends up being ambushed by the undead. There's a fight that you got to go through there too. So even like the mundane stuff still has like fights and stuff. It's not just dialogue.
Well, that's the cool thing I noticed is a lot of the quests, it's usually gives me an option of like, do you want to just chill out and click the thing, or do you want to fight the whole time?
Yeah,
Like you can do either way. And it doesn't seem like one is faster than the other, but at least I have that option, you know?
There was one decision is like, do you want to cut off the supplies of the food to this guy so you can try to weaken him, or do you just want to go beat the out of him? And I was like, I'm gonna go fight him.
Are. Like, do you want to pray to the gods? Do you want to be spiritual, or maybe do a peace treaty? And then there's some other guy over there like, nah, you want to catch the fade, don't you? You're like, yep. All right, let's do that every time.
No, it's great. I love the story structure for this. And that's not saying that Final Fantasy XIV's is bad, because the story for Final Fantasy XIV is really good, but you can still have the same story and tell it in a more consumable way. I'll say. I think that's made the right word.
There's some unnecessary fluff in there, is what it feels like.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us paid solid attention to the Final Fantasy XIV story.
You're not wrong,
tried,
but this story structure shows up in Final Fantasy XVI, which made me lose my goddamn mind. I was paying attention to that story. You have the hypest boss fight of this decade, and then you have to go get goddamn groceries for an hour.
Just like real life.
What are you doing on your day-to-day life? How many gods have you slayed today?
Hey man, sometimes you slay a dragon and you feel really good, and then you wake up and rent's still due. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it be sometimes.
The rent you would have to pay if a dragon isn't enough.
I'm curious where the story for Guild Wars 2 will go in the next expansion. Because I've been watching the story for it, and it's one of those things where in Final Fantasy XIV it was like, well, where do you even go from here? And WoW kind of has it too, but they get more leeway just because of the world that they're in. But I'm curious what the next expansion is going to feature story wise for Guild Wars.
I mean,
which is the first one, rather, not like the actual next one, but the next one I'm going to play is the first expansion.
Oh, isn't the newest expansion releasing soon, or am I getting my wires crossed?
Yep,
in October. Oh, so it's still like
it's still getting updates. Yeah,
this game may just have like terrible marketing or something, you know, because it's not bad. And like the biggest thing for me, like I said, is it's not a subscription based game. There's in-game purchases, which I have no interest in. The game was on sale. I think we got the whole thing for like $25 or something.
You got most of it.
Yeah, I got enough of it, right? And it's free to try, which is great. I can't imagine that like why. I guess it's really just like, how do you fight against the other two big MMOs? You know, I guess you gotta take your 4th or 5th place there.
I mean, it's still huge, right?
It has to be, because I'm running into players everywhere I go. I haven't yet to be in just like an empty place.
Yeah, no, the other thing is that like, because of the way the event system structure is that like, I'll just randomly get people helping me. Like there have been many times where I'm doing something in the middle of fuck ass nowhere, and some dude just strolls in on his fire breathing dragon and just helps me beat the shit out of some wildlife, but then flies off into the distance, never to be seen again. But like,
I want a flying mount.
Honestly, I think the thing that separates this from like WoW and also Final Fantasy. And what makes this more appealing as like a new player, and kind of what made me want to get into it, is the progression in Guild Wars 2 is much different than in some MMOs, because it's more horizontal, which is the term that Jacob used to describe it.
I've seen it described as linear everywhere. What does it mean exactly by that?
So like the stuff that you're gonna get is, so basically the tiers is because it goes, once you get to the highest, it goes, the rarities that really matter are exotic, ascended, legendary, right? But once you get like an exotic set from the base game, they're as good as exotic sets from the newest expansion. So you're not chasing an arbitrary number increase. It's the ones from the later thing might help you do a build differently.
It's just more options unlock with every expansion. They don't replace ones that you already have. So nothing goes out of date or is kind of like just meaningless anymore. With the exception being the dungeons, the early dungeons in the base game are the only thing I know of that have been discontinued. Like they just don't, like there's not really too much of a reason to do them anymore. But everything else in the game, including the newer expansions, they just add more stuff that is compatible with everything you've done so far. So when you go into it, like there's no actual reason to like feel like you need to catch up, because once you hit level 80, you're based on the same level as everyone. You're just trying to get more options to do whatever you want to do.
That was a big positive that when I was looking up stuff about the game is I was like, okay, what's the best character? Everybody's like, they're all fine. What's the best in slot stuff? Everything's fine. Like, just do whatever you want. This game isn't like the other ones where you have to do this specific thing to do the most DPS. Like, everything is, you can be whatever you want and it's okay.
Yeah.
Which I found really appealing.
It's very interesting. And the other thing about it too is I was also in that mindset of like, well, I want to play like a tank. Like I want to be like a tank character in this game. Because usually I play healers all the time. And of course, this game, there is no real tank. Like you can sort of do it, but there's no character designed to just be like the guy that never takes damage. Like that's just not a thing in Guild Wars 2.
There's no like useless tank limit break 3 except for once in a while.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because I remember when you're playing tank, like in FF14, you just fall asleep sometimes, like literally.
That might be a me thing, and because I don't know, I like have all these praises. Like I really like the combat of Final Fantasy XIV, which we should talk about before we run out of time. Like, yeah, definitely, especially the character I was the warrior. Like you can, if everybody else dies, I can still finish the dungeon without any real trouble, just because the it's kind of a broken class. At least it was when I was playing. You can just live forever.
I was gonna say that. And in this game, like you can be beefier, like you can be built to take more damage than others, and kind of, you know, peel back your DPS a bit. But there's no like, I will just always be the last one to die because I just take no damage as long as my healers are alive. Like that's just not a thing. Every character has some form of healing, either to themselves or others, and you can kind of be very flexible to play any class almost any way you want to be, which is super cool.
Yeah, I really like that you can respect class. That's the one thing that I really like with Final Fantasy over this, is you only need the one character. You know, that I really loved about Final Fantasy, because I loved my Mr. Broly. That was my boy. And you don't kind of really have that in this, which is more traditional, I guess, but still.
It is. The elite specializations, I've only gotten the one so far. I was kind of shocked by how much it changed how my character works, though, because the one I chose was Firebrand, and the way my character originally worked is I have like 3 passive abilities, like they just work, right? Where one, every 5th auto attack I do sets the enemy on fire. My second one, every like 5 seconds, I heal me and people around me. My third one, every 10 seconds, I gain a shield and people around me gain a shield. Like that was it. Right.
Yeah.
I did my elite specialization. And now whenever I press one of those passive abilities, I get 5 new abilities pertaining to that ability.
Oh,
and
you got a stance character.
Literally, that's what it is. I can immediately become a DPS character. I can immediately become a healer character. I can immediately become a tank and boon character, like instantly.
That's cool. That's awesome.
It went from just like oh, here's a little heal, here's a little shield, have a little spark and flame, to just like I'm just burning people for like 4k damage a second every second. All of a sudden, even though I'm built to heal, is it's cool. And I'm curious to see what the other specializations will do. And the reason I want to bring that up, and to your point, is like, yeah, you only get like the one character, but that was just a small taste of how different you can make that one character, because that's just one of them. Like that was just one specialization.
Based on what I was looking at for my character progression, it really looked like if I wanted to, I could just only use the one class. Yeah. You know, and do everything spec differently, and it wouldn't be like a huge deal at all.
Yeah.
It's meant to be played that way, it seems.
I like it. I'm gonna play more of it. I need Sleepy, if he's listening, to level up his character.
we need as soon as everyone's level 80, then we start getting a bunch of stuff to do, because the magic number is 5. Is a lot of things are based in either increments of 5 or 10.
Listen, my wife even recognized, she's like, you've had a really hard week and you've been doing a lot of good dad husband stuff. I want you to take this weekend and just relax and play games. And I was like, this is why I married her. Like, she understands me. She's like, you've had it rough, dude. Like, just relax this weekend. I'm like, yeah. So I'm going to get my character up to where it needs to be. In between bouts of Guilty Gear. I did really want to quickly talk about the combat. Like, how are we feeling about that relative to Final Fantasy?
Because I want to loop this back to what he's talking about. It's much more interesting. I do like the combo system, but there's also a lot more of like, it feels better than Final Fantasy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
In terms of
I kind of compare it to, it feels very much like WoW. If I had to compare it to another MMO.
It doesn't ever feel like I'm just watching an animation happening and then, you know, kind of mashing the key to do the next thing. It feels like I always have something I should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, because
which is good.
Because to talk about my elite specialization is, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in all my specializations, I unlock a new tool, basically, when I choose them. So for Berserker, for example, you get the ability to use the torch in your offhand, which is very important for both A, setting things on fire, and B, the combos that work off of fire and blast are very strong because they give you extra might. And my character was all about building might and setting things on fire. So by the time I was done with Berserker, like mastering Berserker, is that I am setting myself on fire, everything on fire, and my fire is exploding constantly. And it's like the progression as I learned or like got through that class made it feel very noticeable, as I felt that I was getting stronger.
Yeah. For me, it was a little bit different because I'm thinking you built damage, right?
So my character is basically a damage dealing sustain.
Yeah.
So far is he has high defense. He has high defense through HP and shielding, but he also can lifesteal that HP back, and he also just has sections of invincibility. The other thing is that Berserker's whole thing is he eventually gets the ability to use a Berserk state, but you can build him around trying to basically chain that state. And if I have the right things, I can keep it going indefinitely. through rotations. But the last ability Berserker gets is just the ability to headbutt someone. It is his elite, and what it does is it's just a huge chunk of damage, but it also extends Berserk, but it also stuns you and the target. It stuns you for 1 second of the target for 3, but it's also on a 20-second cooldown. So it's a lot of just like weaving it into different rotations. So I'm constantly pressing buttons and just everything is catching on fire and exploding.
Yeah, I think the whole always pressing buttons, that's like that's mine too. And that's considering that my main traits that I have as my class are passive. Like I don't even like I can press them and they do stuff, but I almost never need to, at least with the content I've done so far. But what made a huge difference in regards to combat that's interesting is the weapon I wielded changed the way I played. Every time I switched weapons, because the mace that I used allowed me to heal myself and sustain myself, because the auto attacks for them, every time I use it, I heal, and I can lay down a healing field with it too. But when I switched to the two-handed hammer, the mace, or not the mace, I think it was just the hammer. It let me literally bat enemies away. I can like lay down a field that traps them and keeps other ones out from me, so I can like get into basically like a 1v1 or a 1v2 with certain enemies. Or if I switch to Greatsword, I can combine that with another ability I have to just like shred people with vulnerability. Or if I switch to the axe, I can go into more burning instead and just deal tons of burning, gain lots of might through an ability I had. So what's very interesting with the combat is, again, just the different ways that you can play the character. Because like originally I built him as just healing and toughness. That's what I did, but I could still play in like tons of different ways.
You know, the other thing that's cool is, at least from what we figured out, is that the weapon skills are also dependent on like your character class, because a warrior and a guardian will wield the greatsword differently and have different effects on like what they're trying to do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the combat from what you had so far, Fliz?
I definitely got bored.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just been a rough week. Yeah, there's one day you came in, you're like, what are you doing? Playing Guild Wars. Why aren't you playing anymore? I'm bored. Like that happened. I'm definitely playing like I picked a hunter. I'd never played like in WoW. I was a warrior, and in the other one in Final Fantasy warrior. Like I was always that. So I was like, I'll try a range class. I'm finding out that I think he's still a melee class. I don't know. I want to play it more. It's really hard for me to separate how my week has been from actually playing the game. So that's why I really want to get into it this weekend, and like talking about it, I'm excited to play again. We did the dungeon, and I was like, this is clunky and unimpressive. But it was an early game dungeon, which are usually pretty, like if I think about Final Fantasy, that one,
it's the
poison dungeon.
Oh god,
what is that one?
I was thinking,
that's
I was
just
thinking
like
the mine, like the second dungeon.
Oh, the mine. Yeah, that's ass. That shouldn't even be in the game anymore. That's such a like purposefully
they
points where you just have to
it's
wait.
better.
Yeah,
but the original one, yeah.
So to go into a little bit more about like difficulty in this is, I tried to do one of the, because in the base game there are 2 classes of world bosses, right? There's like, well, technically 3. There's the beginner ones, the standard ones, and then what they classify as hardcore, supposedly. But the hardcore one, 2 of them are just like normal fights. One of them was that dragon we did on the beach, Lionel.
Oh yeah.
But the third one is kind of absurd, because it's so the way the event starts is there's 3 people you need to escort, right? And they split up. So every group has to split up and follow them. So there's like 3. And as you go through, you have to, depending on which one you're following, you have to do certain things along the way. Like for us, it was like there was these eggs that we had to kill ahead of time before they hatched. Right. But then when you get to the end of it, there's 3 great worm heads show up. They're each a different color. And the thing behind it is that all 3 of them are invincible until a certain mechanic is resolved. And it's different per head because each one is a different color tied to it. And the thing with it is, when they go down, is like that's the only time you can damage them. There is a second thing where in this fight is all 3 heads have to be killed within 1 minute of each other. And if you don't do that, it's a failure. I have never seen anyone struggle in this game till that happened, and then everything fell apart. As soon as there was like an actual challenging mechanic, because the one I did was is that there's 3 color like machines set up around the boss arena, and you have to basically gather these piles of color clouds and then bring them to the extractor. Once it's full, the boss will be stunned and you can actually hurt it. The thing is that like each head has its own mechanic that needs to be resolved differently, and because everything needs to be killed simultaneously, is that if the groups have to coordinate when they can actually kill the head within 1 minute of each other. Because after all of the heads are decapitated, there's actually still another phase. I never got to see it because we failed the group that I tried to do it with. But there was an actual mechanic, and it's just only one of the world bosses really has that dangerous mechanic. Like it's so much more mechanically intensive compared to the other fights. At least from what I see.
I guess there was like a statement by the devs, because you gotta remember, like the game, because it has this horizontal progression, you can't rely as much on gear to kind of help you pad your numbers. Like it is very skill expressive as you keep going. And they said that there's like literally like the damage that a good player can deal versus an average one is like 500% difference, even though they had the same stats, which is like wild when you consider that means that it's just a literal skill issue. It is what it is. And that what I'm looking forward to as well, if I get more into the game, is that means every expansion you don't have to like be grinding for just gear and levels all the time. You can just play the game and just get new stuff and try to get better at it. And I think Fliz, as you play more and hopefully like get more into the game, what I think you're going to enjoy about the combat is finding cool synergies of the skills that exist to kind of make something that, you know, that you like to do. Because I know you really like card games and like combining all these different effects and stuff. So I think as you like learn the combat system more, I think you're going to enjoy that as you look at and unlock new skills.
I think so. I just it's the beginning of an MMO that I'm still in, and those are always clunky and not very good. So I'll get there. What were you saying, Jacob?
I don't know if you guys have it in your class, but I have an entire specialization that like basic one that is designed around swapping weapons faster and getting bonuses for doing it.
Nope, I don't.
Because Warrior basically, from what I was seeing, is they have a skill that it's like one of the ones that's force activated. It cuts your weapon swap time cooldown in half. So it reduces it to 5 seconds, and then there's bonuses you can grant yourself. So like I've seen, from what I understand, there's some builds that are literally just constantly swapping the weapons, like every like 5-10 seconds, to use different like both weapon set skills to create the combos, and basically just you basically just have 2 full move sets to make use of that you just weave.
Wait, how
back.
fast can you swap weapons?
I can swap every 5 seconds with that.
Oh, I can only swap every like. There's a big cooldown. I can't do that. I know for sure. I think it's like 10.
Yeah,
it's like double that.
That's what the specialization does. Is it cuts the time down in half. That's why I was wondering, because it's only one of my core ones. It's called Discipline. I was wondering if you guys had anything similar that cuts your swap time in half. So there's like because what I was looking up, like, what exactly does Warrior want to do meta wise, like both in PvP, just to get an idea. And a lot of it is they swap. Like almost every build I was seeing that's quote unquote meta was just, it uses discipline to swap. And I was like, that makes sense, because it's just, you get to use two old different like moveset and skill sets.
Are you guys talking about your first swap cooldown or like right at the start of a fight? Because I get like one free swap and then there's a cooldown.
Oh, do you? I don't think I do.
So I could be wrong. I could be just misremembering, but I feel like I get a free swap.
Yeah, you do,
which would lean
because you can
towards...
swap immediately, but that puts it on cooldown. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, because I can do that as well. It's just when I swap is with discipline is that timer is only 5 seconds instead of 10.
Yeah.
So it just that you can build to incentivize using two full skill sets. I'm just not doing that right now because I don't have the gear yet.
Yeah.
I do not have a good secondary weapon. But as was nice is I can just test it out and then save build templates because I've already started messing around seeing how different builds work.
Yeah.
So experiment.
I have not had enough time.
Yeah, experimentation is rewarded.
Yeah, I guess the last thing would be, unless there's any specific points, just like graphically. I don't really care about graphics.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine.
This is just WoW.
I never get into an MMO hoping the graphics are going to be good.
No, there's certain things you just ignore, like the story, and not ignore, but like you just you give a little leeway to. Like I don't expect this to look.
Yeah,
like
honestly,
it's
a game from the only negative I have about the graphics is something I haven't even looked into trying to fix because like I haven't been able to do the content. It was just based on the one dungeon we did. Is I can't see the enemy sometimes because there's so many effects happening on an enemy.
You can turn other people's effects off.
Which I figured you could turn off. But that's it. Like everything else, as long as I can understand what's happening and I can actually like tell what is what in an MMO, like I usually have no expectations for it. But the game looks decent. It's not Final Fantasy, that's for sure.
It is.
I'd put it on the same level as WoW. Probably worse, to be honest.
Yeah, a little worse. I think it's worse than WoW.
Worse than WoW, but that's unfair considering I don't know. Like this is based on the base game. I don't know what it looks like. I don't think they have
the same budget though.
Yeah, that too. So
I mean, the game runs well, which
it does. Yeah.
Until World event, but that's more the game engine just keeling over.
I think that's a general problem. I was just seeing that's going to be like an issue forever because
it's just the engine.
It's just such an old game.
Yeah, it's just the engine. Like it's not a performance thing. It's just the game. It will keel over when you have hundreds of people in the same spot.
Yeah. Because that is expected.
Because we were doing the world boss, and I was like, I forget which one was mentioned at first, but I was like, okay, what's your FPS at? 20? Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I couldn't see anything. Then I got kicked in the face by a dragon into a cloud of like poison fog and died. I got to watch in glorious 20 FPS. Loved it.
I wanted you to feel every frame.
Every frame. Impact frames. They're impact frames.
Impact frames.
Yeah. My carrier pigeon.
No, it was great. That was a fun world boss. I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool.
I just
seeing it off in the distance. Thing's huge. I loved it.
I just love that. I was like, hey, I think a world boss is spawning. Oh no, that's a world boss because I just happened to be in the area wandering around looking for something. And just all of a sudden, I'm like, why are there so many people here? Oh, I think a world boss is spawning. You want to come here? Oh, yep, that's a world boss.
All right. Any last little tidbits? Any final words before we move on with our lives?
I think that's it.
I can't wait till I can actually use the trading post.
No, you're not allowed.
I'm literally not allowed right now.
I'm like, when can I trade? Don't you have to wait an actual like real amount of time to use it?
Yeah, new accounts can use it for like 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, I can use it.
There.
I can use it either tonight or tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. I'm more excited to play, and now that I have some free time, I'm gonna get into it.
I'll be right there with
Speaking
you.
of, if anybody listening wants to play with us, it's free to pick up and try. You're welcome to join us. I don't know how servers and worlds work in this game. Hopefully, it's not as clunky as Final Fantasy, because that was terrible.
I think it's fine. The only thing is, like, in North America, in EU,
I think it's just regional.
Yeah,
Like,
it's regional, but like guilds are cross regional, I think. And I made one for the guild the other day.
Oh. On top of that, if you find anything wrong with what we're saying, please let us know, because we're new. We're just giving our week one opinions on something that people have in-depth, what's the phrase people say? Elite ball knowledge about.
Elite ball?
No.
Wait, no.
Elite
this
ball
is looping back
knowledge.
to the beginning of a podcast. You won't get me, bitch.
Yeah, so I'd say check it out. Like I said, it's free. It tells you, like, hey, if you want to keep using a mount, buy something from the game, pay us a little bit of money, and you can choose to do that. It's like $10 if you want to just try out even more. But yeah, give it a shot. I think that's pretty much our time for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or comments, leave them on the video or the podcast, wherever you're listening to this. I'll get some more. I'll have to get some footage of the game. Maybe I'll have you guys, because you guys are farther. It'll be more interesting. Mine will just be wandering around doing nothing. It'll be me just standing in a field in real time for an hour and a half while I go do something else.
And that's what we do.
If you have any questions or comments, let us know at giantanycrabpod@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, wherever you see our name. Well, you can get in contact with us. Also, do us a huge favor, drop a like and subscribe, or leave a rating wherever you're listening to this. That would really help. I'd like that. I'd say thank you. We good?
I think so. Is it me, or your outro's getting longer?
Everything's getting longer.
Oh.
Next time I won't do one then. Fuck.
What? No, it's not him.
Well, because we keep adding more stuff. Also, I usually say, like, I ask for like a like and a subscribe at the beginning, and
that's what it is.
So that came. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. It's for engagement. It's called a call to action.
Oh,
it makes people do things according to psychology. I think it just annoys people, but you know, sometimes I'll be watching a video and I'll forget.
My goodness, stop
and
recording.
Then they'll be like, "Oh, well, I didn't."
Okay. Just want to make sure.
We're making the outro even longer, Jacob.
Yeah, he said something about a long outro. We're sitting here for another 10 minutes, bitch.
That's why you fucking gaslit me into thinking that you would already cut the episode. I was like, wait, what?
I would never. I never gaslight ever.
I can't believe he thinks we're still recording.
What the? Both of you.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye. Did you stop recording?